And welcome to race day, the first of our races for the 69th running of the Macau Grand Prix. And already we have populated a grid for our first race of the day. We've got a very welcome return this year. We have a very welcome return of some global stars in GT racing in the GT race coming up later on today. We also have the very welcome return after 2 years away of the motorcycles. They've already been out on circuit. They've been around for a 20-minute warm-up, but this is the first race Hyde here in the commentary box, joined by David Addison. And it is always, David, a very colourful build-up to the first race of the weekend and a hugely populated area down on the grid.
And it's quite fitting, isn't it, Alan, that the first race is for the local drivers. It is a grid rather dominated by Macau-based drivers, and they are all smiles ready to go. You're right, it is a very colourful grid. Car preparation levels are out of this world. This might be a, in quotes, local race, but don't for a minute think that these are raggy old cars. They're all very well prepared, they're all immaculately presented, and they deliver plenty of good racing as well. And on pole position, Geronimo Badaraco, who was a real gun yesterday across the two qualifying sessions. Didn't do many laps, but when he was on track, he was absolutely blistering.
He really was, and that's the car we've just been having a look at on level. Pretty sure we're going to get the chance to see the whole grid as our camera crew down there on ground level go to the outside of row one. Car number 18 alongside Racco is Chu Hio Fong. Next row back, we've got the number one car, and that's the car of Lian Wong Wan Long, in the Mitsubishi Evo 10. These cars are no strangers to the grids at Macau. They have entertained us for many years, Mitsubishi Evo 9s, Evo 10s. They're broken up into two categories as well. We've got 1600 class engine cars and 2-litre engine cars. And tomorrow on Grand Prix Day, we'll have podiums for each of those categories, as well as the overall podium as well. Today, just our top three aboard the very famous podium here at Macau. Third row, number 59. And number 59 is the car of Wong Kwai Wah in the Songven Racing Team Evo 9. A thumbs up. It's a great thing when the camera crew go to all of the cars, because you begin to understand just how important this is for local drivers to be on the grid, on the world stage, essentially, is what they are. Just having a look at the number 18 car. That's Chu Hio Fong. And we have plenty of minis, plenty of Mitsubishis, plenty of minis. Number 11 is the car of Celio Alves Dias in the Mini Cooper S, one of the regular stars here at Macau.
Yeah, he's been a winner of the Touring Car Cup in the past as well, but yesterday the Minis were just a little bit breathless, weren't they, against the 2-litre turbocharged Mitsubishi Lancers. Number 20 is another of the Super Coopers, the Mini Cooper S there of Rui Valente, another Macau driver, and he lines up then on the 5th row of the grid, looking to try to make progress from there.
Continuing back on the grid, that's number 9, the car of Mike Ip Yoon Ho in the Mitsubishi Evo 9. Evo 9s and Evo 10s, cars that have stood the test of time, but every year we get new liveries and new designs to give them a new lease of life. Loman Kit is in car number 21 in the Mini Cooper, run by the RPM Racing Team. Thumbs up for Loman Kit. And we have a unique, in as much as we only have one Subaru on the grid, and that's Hu Zoi Liang in the Team Pro Spec Subaru Impreza. Car number 7, another of the Mini Coopers from RPM Racing Team, Loman Fai.
The enthusiasm you can see bubbling out of every car, can't you? They're all eager to get on with this.
It always is. It is wonderful to see. And then when you see the elation when they manage to get on the podium, that takes it up to another level.
Yeah. The next of the minis there you can see of Chan Kin Sang. with its spectacular livery, and a car that you don't find racing in terribly many other places other than Macau, the Peugeot RCZ. This is Ip Tak Mang's car, and run by another local team. The left-hand drive Peugeot is good to go. Number 66, which is Nkin Ven's Ford Fiesta ST. That was in strife yesterday in the qualifying session, but looked resplendent. And again, it's a car that isn't going to have the pace of the Mitsubishis, but for a class podium, could be there or thereabouts.
Number 46 is the car of Junio da Costa Pereira in the Ford Fiesta ST. And you may have noticed, if you're watching racing from Macau for the first time, bright is very much the name of the game as far as liveries are concerned in this part of the world, and we welcome them every year.
Absolutely right. Some of the sponsors are also unwell as you look down the grid and come across more varied backers. There you've got Lo Hu Fong's Peugeot RCZ. Sits on the right-hand side of his car as against the left-hand driver. Other Peugeot RCZs on the grid.
Alongside Choi Chan-var, who we saw just previous to that. 26 is Wong Tak Fai,
who's gone from being entered in the Peugeot to
an Evo 9.
An Evo 9, So realising that he needed some more power, that puts him up a class as well. And a driver to watch to try to make some progress. More of the Peugeots then, lining up alongside Chan Chi-ha. And Long Ham Fan, another driver that's going to be trying to make progress forward. Car number 3 is Luciano Castillo-Lamerache, who looked quick in the qualifying sessions, but actually the grid position didn't really reflect that. He starts on the 11th row of the grid, so that is definitely a man to watch to see what progress can be made. But overtaking around here, not that easy, because there are lots of parts of the circuit where it's very narrow.
Chan Chi-ha, I beg your pardon, in a Mitsubishi Evo 9 is car number 25. And as far as Lemirith is concerned, I thought the car went a lot quicker in qualifying, so there must be a story why the car is further down on the grid, but expect the car to come through. Wan Jin Tun in the Mitsubishi Evo 9, and then the number 82 car of Wong Kar Hong.
And there's confidence. He's not even in the car yet. Everybody else is strapped in, ready to go.
I would be getting in the car. We're 4 minutes away.
Exactly. First of all, you have to show your sponsors to the cameras, and then he'll get on board. There is number 35, Kevin Lamb's rather stealth-like Chevrolet Cruze that yesterday stopped and caused a red flag. It had a mechanical drama out on the circuit, but the good news is that it has been sorted and it is good to go. So Kevin Lamb, a man to watch, starting only on the 13th row of the grid with their Mochi Fai's Evo 10 Mitsubishi alongside.
Yeah, in the number 2 car, the Bobadilla Racing Team entered car. Quite a few entries in the SJM Macau Roadsport Challenge, which around 8 laps is the race we're about to get racing underway here on the world famous gear circuit. Lo Chon Him, Ford Fiesta, alongside the 33 car of Ho Kai Meng, Mini Cooper S. And that's a great sight, isn't it? Looking back at what is a very busy grid as the personnel begin to make their way back into pit lane, and the nerves just begin to rise a little bit higher now. We are about to get racing underway on a circuit that only sees racing once a year, the 6 points around Macau. It's so many famous corners, and even the camera angles that bring us the coverage around the world have become pretty iconic now. And in a moment we will have a grid populated only by cars and the single member of each team that's responsible for making sure the car starts and is able to get off on the green flag lap. We are due to get the cars underway. 8:35 local time. It's 8:22 currently, 24 degrees. We've had 2 very warm days here at Macau. Pretty sunny yesterday morning with very few clouds in the sky. Today a little bit more cloudy, but we can see the sunshine there, and we will have the temperature rising as the day goes on. It is only 22 minutes past 8 in the morning here at Macau.
And of course the day starts early in order to have the roads open and also to get everything in before you lose the light at the end of the day. It's normally about 5:45 when it starts to go properly dark, and the roads need to be open soon after that. So it's an early start to get everything in. The grid now being cleared. There'll be, of course, the final formation lap to get some warmth into the tyres. It's a standing start, whereas you've got a rolling start for the GT cars, and then we're going to be in business for 8 laps today. The result of this race gives you the grid for tomorrow's longer 12-lap race. And as far as this race is concerned, in terms of a tyre choice, it's down to what the driver wants. There's not a specified tyre supplier like there is for all the other car categories. Motorbikes, again, is outside of that. It's a free choice there. But for these drivers, it's whatever your car prefers and your budget allows.
Exciting moment as the last few personnel are making their way to the side of the grid, and we will get the 8-lap race, the first race of the weekend, underway. 35 cars in total, so many they go round the corner, and there you see the graphic example with the little Lotus Elise, the number 83 car of Chan Chi Ho in the Lotus Elise in number 83 at the back, alongside the 62 Mini of Paul Fan.
And it was coming out of our bend, wasn't it, in the equivalent second race last year, that it all got a bit leery and a bit crowded, and we had a stoppage to clear up the mess. But this promises to be a really lively race. There are plenty of good battles, and you can expect those Mini row back to do some giant killing efforts here as they take on the more powerful Mitsubishis. They're going to have their strength through the twiddly bits. The Mitsubishis will be stronger on the fast open sections of the gear circuit. And the final warming up lap is about to get underway.
The gear circuit here at Macau is a circuit that has everything. Huge high speeds and very technical twisty sections of the circuit as well. But the one thing that remains all the way around the circuit, the yellow and black of the barriers that the cars come oh so close to, and sometimes, just sometimes, they bite back. Waiting to get the cars underway, get the tyres up to temperature, the brakes up to temperature, get the engines to optimum temperature as well. And when the word is given that the cars can be led away, we'll have one warming up lap. They'll reform on the grid, and we'll get an 8-lap race underway. Geronimo Badaraco in the Mitsubishi Evo 9. To the right of your screen, car number 28. With pole position from 2 qualifying sessions yesterday, immediately gets down to business. And when they are weaving the cars to get heat into the tyres, they have to make the most of the wide sections on the circuit, and this is one of the wide sections on the circuit. So instantly getting down to business and weaving the cars side to side, get heat into the tyres, absolutely critical.
And also getting some heat into the brakes as well, which you are going to need on that opening lap at Lisboa. This is the fast section through turn 1 of Reservoir, the left, then you go right through Mandarin, and speed building all the time. Then that fast straight down towards Lisboa, heavy braking when they get to that sharp right-hander, and many a drama has happened there in the past, and there might be some more over the course of the weekend. Great sight, as Alan has made the point. It's a colourful grid, it's a busy grid, lots of different shapes and sizes on this. And an opportunity for the local heroes to go racing bright and early this morning. But can anybody stop the rather dominant Geronimo Badaraco is the key question, because he has looked so strong all weekend.
Certainly has, and has topped the times, all bar one time out on circuit, where Luciano Lemiras was on top of the times. They weave the cars from side to side. This last year was under the name of the Win Macau Challenge Cup, and it was a far shorter entry. Number 14 car has a problem already. That's Learn King Ong with the Mitsubishi Evo 9, and unfortunately that car being assisted off the grid, so that won't be a problem.
Yeah, if it can start, they'll let it start from the pit lane. That's a big shame. It would have been on the 14th row of the grid, number 14.
It's not going to be delaying the start, which is good news. The marshals around the gear circuit here at Macau do an exceptional job of clearing up problems so very quickly, and that would be a very simple recovery for that car into the gap in the wall, into pit lane, and if it's a simple rectification of the problem, then the car, as you say, David, can start from pit lane. It's brave to be weaving the cars here. This is going into the tightest section of the circuit. Shows how keen they are to get every last little bit of temperature into the tyres. See the lifting equipment there, these cranes dotted around the circuit. That's one of the things that enables the marshals and the circuit workers to clear problems out of the way so very quickly.
As we've seen over the weekend, they are well drilled in this, so the car has barely come to rest on occasions before the marshals are descending to it to try and get it out of the way, and a quick lift is always the preferred option. But there are areas around the circuit where there aren't cranes, and so quite often this weekend we've had cars falling off the road, ending up between cranes, and therefore having to have the session stop so they can be retrieved. And let us hope that we can get through 8 laps here without too much strife. Geronimo Badaracco for pole position, Chu Hu Fong lining up second, and then Leon Wong, the winner of both races in the equivalent event last year when it was the Win Macau Challenge Cup, now the SJM Macau Roadsport Challenge. He hasn't looked quite as dominant this weekend, Leon Wong. Number 1, there he is going through the shot in the gold Lancer. But now for race day, let's see what he can do. He has been getting quicker and quicker each time he's hit the track, so steps taken forward every time he's been on the Macau gear circuit this weekend, and therefore potentially might be able to fight for a race win here.
Begin to learn, having come to Macau for a few years now, that nothing is predictable at Macau, and although last year you might not necessarily win the same race by the same margin the following year, and that's one of the beauties of Macau. Things change from year to year.
But equally, there are names that you are familiar with season after season, and it's good that they stalwart drivers come back year after year and the fabric of the event, and arguably have been of greater importance than ever these last 3 runnings of the event.
It was a quite incredible feat by the organising body behind the Macau Grand Prix to make sure that the Macau Grand Prix ran in 2020, in 2021, and each year we see the growth back to what we would expect. And now with 35 cars taking the first race start, I think everybody at Macau can be exceptionally proud of themselves when you see these cars. A proper grid, the size of the grid that we would expect at Macau, and it's been against many odds to complete the running of the Macau Grand Prix year after year. So up towards formation they come, side by side, and we will get 8 laps of racing underway. And it's, of course, Saturday, so there'll be plenty of people in the grandstands, even at this early hour in the morning, 8:30 in the morning, as the pace car will peel off into pit lane. We will round the final corner. Race of the day underway for the SJM Macau Roadsport Challenge, and the lights will go out, and that will signal racing to get underway in 2022 for the Macau Grand Prix, and the first race of the weekend. Good start by pole position for Geronimo Badaracco. I think we could have expected nothing less from the pole position car, the Mitsubishi, that just slots in head at the head of the field as they go on the run down towards the first overtaking opportunity on the circuit through Mandarin, the very quick Mandarin, and then down towards Lisbon.
Good start also by number 1, Leon Wong, up into second place, and from the 3rd row there, the yellow and purple car of Anson Wong, then number 59, up into 3rd place. Having a look to the outside line, but it is going to be Badaracco that leads out of Lisboa for the first time. One goes second, and then Anson Wong in 3rd place. Big squeal of tyres for the first of the minis that gets crossed up, but Badaracco trying to make good his escape. But they're in 3rd place. Anson Wong, a really good start then. Trouble is, he's a bit stuck now because Leon Wong ahead of him is not going to be an easy driver to get past, and if he can't get past him swiftly, Badaracco's going to build that lead.
It's a great battle for second place as well, isn't it? 2nd, 3rd and 4th as they climb up through the incredibly technical and demanding section of the circuit around Teddy, the left-hander, and then on towards the Solitude S's, where there is barely the space for two cars to be side by side. Has been known in touring car races to get them side by side, but a very rare occurrence that you would do so. An incredibly brave performance it would be. That's Geronimo Badaracco with a little bit of a gap. Now, the problem for Leon Wong in second place is Badaracco is able to pull away because he's having to look in his mirrors, and that's going to be a bit of a feature here. As you rightly say, the number 59 machine, the number 59 car of Wang Kwa Wa, is right on the tail of the second place fast starting Leon Wong. So that's potentially going to play into the hands of Geronimo Badaracco.
Although that said, now Leon Wong halfway around the lap just started to edge away a little bit from Anson Wong and brought the gap down heading into the Macau hairpin. So it's a little bit elasticated for the race lead. Look, Wong there in second place, just getting away slightly from Anson Wong in third. And so the lead gap is starting to come down. Potentially, this is number one, Leon Wong, being a little bit more cautious on cold tyres, but as they get warmer, so the confidence is there to push. And as they come up towards the end of the lap, we've had to change for third place as well now, look, because Chu Hu Fong has gone back up ahead of Anson Wong. So all of a sudden, Anson Wong, after his quick start, is fading, and the leaders come across the timing line. Badaracco leading from Leon Wong, with the margin being 1.3 seconds.
And Leon Wong is pretty determined not to let Badaracco make good his escape. And as they come down on the wide section of the circuit, down towards Mandarin, and the run down towards Lisboa, very quick part of the circuit. Look how close they come to the wall on the exit of the bend.
And I reckon Anson Wong has stopped just coming out of Fisherman's Bend, because that car has not come across the line and there's a double wave yellow. So after a really good start, putting him up into third place, Anson Wong's car is stranded trackside. Let's hope that doesn't affect the flow of the race. But look at the way the top two have just stormed away from the rest now.
This is impressive, isn't it? And there it is. Yep, there's the 59 car, the Mitsubishi Evo 9, sadly closing the door, walking away from the car. Waved yellows, of course, signify that car is there, but that car is going to need to be recovered.
And another one in stride, Chelio Alves Diaz in the quick mini. That's coming to the pits at the end of the opening lap. So the leading two now, something like 4 seconds to the good over everybody else. And Leon Wong is coming back at Geronimo Badaracco, isn't he? This is lap 2 out of 8. And although there's a telltale puff of smoke, which is often the case out of the Lancer in second place of Leon Wong, he's going after the leader.
And really closes up here on the technical section of the circuit. That was the second part of this part of the gear circuit that he was able to make good his escape from third place and close up onto the back of Badaracco. So I think the advantage for Leon Wong is certainly on this part of the circuit, which is interesting. They come out of Police and out of Moorish Hill, up towards the long left-hander at Donna Maria. And it is now 2 for the lead, isn't it? This is going to be a great battle between Geronimo Badaracco and last year's race winner, Leon Wong, around the Macau hairpin. For cars, no overtaking throughout the course of the weekend. That's why we've got the flashing green LED panel, because that indicates you are now out of the no overtaking zone. So overtaking is now allowed once again. And the two are almost becoming one around the final section of the circuit with that stricken number 59 car. That's a great shame for Wang Kwai Wah, the yellow and purple Evo 9. Clearly going to remain there for the remainder of the race around our bend. And 2 laps complete now for the top two. And Wong Wan Long, Leon Wong, puts in the fastest lap of the race at 2:36.314 in his pursuit of Geronimo Badaracco.
And there in third place is Chu Hu Fong. In fourth place now, Sabino Lai. And those two have paired off a little bit as well. You can see that they are way, way clear of Mike Eat, who is in 5th place, but he is some way back. Now, it was 1 second between the race leaders, or 1 second and 1,000th. And it seems that Leon Wong is stronger through the tight and twisty mid part of the lap, whereas Geronimo Badaracco has the advantage on this part of the gear circuit, if you like, the wider, faster section. Slow car there that needs to be negotiated, which is the Nguyen Veng Ford Fiesta. That is crawling to retirement. So the leaders go through with now Leon Wong trying to get back onto terms with Geronimo Bararaco for third place. It seems as though Chu Hu Fong is getting away once more from Sabino Lai as they in turn head towards the Solitude S's on this lap 3.
And you can only hope that the car of Un King Veng is able to, albeit slowly, make it around the lap, because if it comes to a stop on this section, that's when it might well cause a problem. It's a tight and twisty part of the circuit. There isn't an awful lot of room for overtaking in certain sections here, and if the car comes to a complete stop, then that's when it becomes a little bit of a problem.
You're right, and talking about traffic, I don't think it's going to be that long, relatively speaking, before they have to think about lappery, because some of the slower cars are quite a long way back already, and therefore lappery before the end of the race is going to be a feature. This elasticated gap for third place now, it's advantage Lai because the car is getting a little bit closer to that of Chu Hu Fong ahead. The start is being investigated to see whether anybody was out of position and therefore arguably jumped this start. As out of Donna Maria with a touch of understeer there. Sabino Lai, so the car just slightly away from the clipping point for the corner and trying to regain that lost ground down to the Melco hairpin.
And we mentioned that there are two categories. There was a 2-litre category and a 1600 category. Leading in the 1600s is 5th place overall. One of the regulars here at Macau, representing the premier racing team in the Mini Cooper S, is Rui Valent. And still the waved yellows signify that that 59 car of Wong Kwai Wah is remaining there for the duration of the race now, and we have completed any moment now 3 laps in this opening race of the weekend for Geronimo Bararaco. The gap has extended. It's 1.5 seconds. It was just about 1 second, so better lap, an overall best lap on that last one for Geronimo Bararaco. 2:34.873. 2:34.873. The race leader is the fastest car on track.
And Leon Wong in the race, as in qualifying, does not seem to have an answer. Try as he might, but the slightly more outlandish looking Lancer, that of Geronimo Bararaco, flings itself now through Lisboa and accelerates up towards San Francisco Hill. But Geronimo Bararaco has looked so good all weekend. Across practice, across qualifying, it has always been that car that's had the advantage. Still with that little puff of smoke out of the back. In second place is Leon Wong, who now has to call upon his bravery through the S's onwards to bring down that gap, and there is a jump start penalty being given. It is for number 7 of Lowman 5 with the Mini Cooper, as you look there at the car of Luciano Castillo-Lamerache, which is still trying to make progress and has made progress now up into 8th place. Now, we started 21st, so this is good going.
It's going very well indeed, isn't it? We'll keep an eye on the timing screen to mark the progress of Castillo-Lamerache, and that's the number 3 car currently in 8th place. Now, the good news is that in the previous shot, we just saw that the 66 car of Un King Veng is still going. So it's, although very slow, it can make it back to the pit lane. That's good news, but something is really wrong with the car.
Again, look on this section of the circuit, how the lead gap has come down. This is where Leon Wong is stronger, but Geronimo Bararaco, when you get to that wide, fast section coming out of the Melco hairpin and the road opens up, that's where his car seems to have the advantage. So over the course of the lap, he is still the stronger, but it's up to this point where you can see how much time is pulled back by Leon Wong.
And it would only take one tiny slip for the race leader to allow Wong on this section of the circuit to take the advantage. This section is very much the domain of the race leader, Geronimo Bararaco. The number 28 car now stretches the legs of the Mitsubishi Lancer Evo 9. How close they come to the wall on the exit of that very fast turn. A problem for the number 13 car of Dickie Cheung, and that's the RPM Racing Team Evo 8.
Got a puncture, hasn't he, on that left rear? So whether that's after contact or he's run over something or glanced a wall, we'll try and find out. But as the leader goes through, Geronimo Bararaco now is 2 seconds to the good. So he is building the advantage all the time. And I think Leon Wong is just going to have to accept as he starts lap 5 now that he just does not have an answer. But have a look in third place. Chu Hu Fong is now lapping slightly quicker than Leon Wong. Now he's got to make up 4.3 seconds, but the gap is coming down ever so slightly.
And we're keeping an eye as well as they complete half distance, or at least the top 4 have completed half distance. Keeping an eye on the number 3 car of Luciano Castillo-Lamerez. There is a place gained by Chanchi Ha with an overall fastest lap of the race as well. Problem for the number 29 car, that's a disappointment for Lo Hio Feng in the Peugeot RCZ.
And if he's not careful, he's going to get collected there, because that is right on the exit of the corner. You saw how close some of the traffic was behind. The yellow flags are there to be waved, but
they go so tight to the exit there, don't
absolutely.
they?
So fingers crossed they're all going to avoid that car. Double yellow waved at that corner, as there you see the charging Chu Hu Fong in 3rd place, closing a little bit on Leon Wong then. So for grabs, we're on lap 5. As you say, Chan Chi Ha has done that fastest lap of the race.
It's impressive, that, isn't it?
Making good progress up onto the tail there for a Sabino Lai. That gap coming down a little bit, but it's a big gap. Right, so fingers crossed that we're not going to have to interrupt the race. And now, look, Badaracco has absolutely fled the scene, hasn't he? That gap over Leon Wong has absolutely multiplied. It is a big, big gap. They're heading to the incident zone. So for the first time for these cars, they're about to encounter a stranded Peugeot, and you can see why the enthusiasm is there with the yellow flags to alert the drivers in plenty of time.
Even with the enthusiastic waving of yellow flags and the light boards as well, it's still a little bit of a surprise, isn't it? First time you come across it, you don't expect something to be there.
Now have a look at this. All of a sudden the leader has caught traffic at the Melco hairpin. Badaracco is a bit stuck, and that's going to give Leon Wong a chance to bring that gap right down. So I don't think he's going to be able to attack, but it's going to be a much reduced margin when they get towards the timing line at the end of this 5th lap. Here they come. Look, all of a sudden they're back together again. So Badaracco it is who's now got to be back on his toes and try and stretch the advantage, but that all of a sudden gave Leon Wong a chance, but the gap does extend by another length or 2 down to our bend.
Close as there's ever been as they came out of that corner after the traffic, and there was very possibly a moment for Wong to think, I could do this. There might be the opportunity in traffic, and they're going to be in traffic for the remainder of the race. They've got 3 laps to go, including the lap that they are on. The 62 Mini gets neatly out the way. That's Paul Fan.
But have a look in 3rd place, because all of a sudden, right with them now is Chu Hu Fong, who has closed right up, and they haven't been able to get past the Mini coming down towards Lisboa because of the yellow flag. So they're out of Mandarin. They come now, they can overtake, and that yellow flag zone has again gone against Badaracco because he couldn't get through the traffic. He's got Leon Wong, and then also now in 3rd place Chu Hu Fong right there behind him. So it's become 3 for the lead, and another puncher in the background. Look, bodywork flies, a tyre has let go on one of the slower cars. Leaders go through, but expect to see one go up the escape road in a moment, because you just saw at the back of the shot, left front tyre explode.
Now, the lap chart would say the same order, but it doesn't say the exact story of what's happening. For a moment, we had 3 for the lead, and that is what you saw in the background. The number 5 car, Sabino Osario Matthias Lai.
From 4th place as well, so a significant drama coming there, possibly having driven over debris, but the tyre let go up the escape road. That's what it's there for. Heading back to our yellow flag zone, Geronimo Badaracco still leads, but we've got to a full course yellow now. Full course yellow.
And I think they all need to know that, because it looks as if there was going to be a move there for 2nd place. They are a trio for the lead of the race, but there is no overtaking. The restart's going to be interesting, isn't it?
It is. Now we go safety car. So there's a full course yellow that was called, but the safety car has been deployed.
So, opportunity to take breath. This is only the first race of the weekend on race day, and so far it's been a typical, exciting road sports race for the SJM Macau Roadsport Challenge. Plenty to talk about. Still, even though they come round that corner, it's still a surprise when you see that car there.
Now this might save Badaracco, because this is lap 6, so the safety car will pick them up starting lap 7. It may only do 1 lap, but it might do 2, which would take the race to the close. So Geronimo Badaracco is going to lose at least 1 racing lap that he would have to defend for. So the safety car will pick them up. The speed is increasing, but we are... Now we've gone back to a green flag. So the safety car legend was on the screen, and now we've gone to a green. So the plot thickens here.
the safety car that wasn't.
Absolutely. We went full course yellow, then safety car, and now we're back to a green flag.
It's a long lap, isn't it? So we are incredibly quick at resolving problems around the gear circuit. Now the problem for Geronimo Badaracco, rather, is traffic. It was the problem that caused 2 cars to be right in his mirrors, and I think it's going to be a problem for the remainder of the race. They're on lap 7 out of 8. They have completed 6 laps now. They are racing once again, and as they all fan out, it's still Geronimo Badaracco, but they're side by side almost for second place as they go around Mandarin. They get back line astern on the run down towards Lisboa, but a great race in prospect for the top 3, although number 1, winner from last year, Leon Wong, has closed right up on the back of race leader Luciano Badaracco, and in turn they have pulled away from 3rd place.
Badaracco's got a problem, that's why, because he's trying to defend coming out of Lisboa. Up the inside went then Leon Wong. When there's contact between the 2 of them, Badaracco was not going to let him by. So he weaved across, contact between the 2, and that now means that into the lead has gone Chu Hu Fong. Now, on the change of shot, we didn't see what was going on up the hill, but Badaracco clearly had a problem. The car was slow out of Lisboa. He didn't want anybody to get past him, and as they were getting silly, so through and past them has gone Chu Hu Fong into the lead of the race. So Badaracco with a mechanical problem and then contact is effectively out of the race, and from 3rd, Chu Hu Fong finds himself in the lead of the race, and there, still 2nd, is Leon Wong, but now chasing somebody different.
Even after a little bit of contact, the number 1 winner from last year, Leon Wong, continues in 2nd place, but you're right, he's looking at the back of a different car now. It's that car, the number 18 car of Chu Hu Fong, and that was a bit of a gift, wasn't it? All of a sudden the world opened up to the car that was in 3rd place. San Francisco Hill turns through the corner, and I think a few recoveries took place of stricken cars when we had the full course yellow, which is good news, because I wasn't happy about that car on the exit of Moorish.
No, but the danger is now there's going to be another one to retrieve, which is Badaracco, unless they were quickly able to get that out of harm's way. But we've got a new race leader, as we've been saying. He was 3rd at the start of the lap, and he leads at the end of it. So Chu Hu Fong qualified 2nd, race leader. Leon Wong is behind him. So it's been a topsy-turvy race. The safety car that never was, the full course yellow that bunched them up a little bit, the traffic helping as well. And now, look, Leon Wong is on a mission because he knows it's going to be 1 lap to go. There is Badaracco's car that has ground to a halt up San Francisco Hill. There are the race leaders. They are about to dive into our bend and to start the last lap with Leon Wong crawling all over the back then of the race leader, Chu Hu Fong.
Has a little look, and as they come up to go onto their final lap, it's still the number 18 car, but only just. So across the line they go. And yeah, I do worry about that positioning of the erstwhile race leader, Geronimo Badaracco. That's not ideal. I also wonder about what happened to the erstwhile leader of the 1600 class. That was Rue Valent, wasn't it? And 20 now down in 11th place and 3rd in category. So there is a new leader of the 1600. It's Loman Kit in his Mini Cooper S, but this is the battle on the final lap for the race lead, coming up towards the waved yellows, and that indicates Geronimo Badaracco's car, which is right there. I don't like seeing that car there as they come out of San Francisco, but the top 2 have been happily passed, and at the moment the advantage held by number 18, Chu Hu Fong.
And up into 4th place now, Luciano Castillo-Lamera. So 21st on the grid, running 4th. I don't think he's going to get any better than that, but it's been quite a drive.
That's pretty good.
It puts him on the 2nd row for tomorrow's race as well, because the results will determine tomorrow's grid, and of course that means that Badaracco, if the car is willing, is going to have to storm his way through from the rear of the grid. Right now, though, Chu Hu Fong leads the way, and I think he's done just about enough to be able to hang on to this, but Leon Wong may have other ideas.
Keep it neat and tidy, that's absolutely vital. It only takes the slightest of errors to allow the opportunity for a nibble for the lead of the race on the final lap, and they both close up through police and up towards Moorish Hill. Out of the corner they come, 2 together as 1. Still the advantage being held by Chu Hu Fong, but it's Leon Wong right on the boot lid of the car as they head down towards the Macau hairpin. No overtaking here, and then it's the fast run to the flag. Through Macau they go. Oh, not good, I thought, that time for Leon Wong. Lost a bit of time coming out of the hairpin.
He did, yeah. It seemed as though he had to sort of really fight the car and then didn't get it into gear quickly enough coming out, so it's cost him a length or two, and it means that Chu Hu Fong is on target to be our first race winner of this 69th Macau Grand Prix weekend.
And here comes the number 18 car. It was an opportunity that was too good to miss. He went through past two cars when Geronimo Badaraco's car expired, and it's the first checkered flag of the weekend for the number 18 car. It's a win for Chu Hu Fong in the RPM Racing Team Mitsubishi Evo 9. Leon Wong in second place, and the number 82 car completing the 8-lap race. Number 82 in third place, and that's the car of Wong Kar Hong. You can never predict what's going to happen at Macau, can you?
As I say, a topsy-turvy race, and having dominated the weekend, Geronimo Badaraco then hit strife, but I'm intrigued to know what went on as they were out of shot, because clearly there was a little bit of angst between him and Leon Wong. Certainly as Badaraco felt the car slow, he obviously moved across to defend. We saw that, but clearly there was contact. But in the end, Badaraco retires, and for third place, then Wong Kar Hong for second place, Leon Wong, and the race winner after a very impressive drive indeed. Chu Hu Fong qualified second, but didn't make the best of starts, was sluggish away.
Am I right in saying that the car that finished in third place, number 82, Wong Kar Hong, started back on the 11th row of the grid?
Yes, along the 11th row.
They worked together.
Third and fourth.
Yeah, very impressive that. And carving through the field. There are a few opportunities to overtake. 6.2 kilometre gear circuit, but if you're brave, you can. And clearly, row 11 was extremely brave, finishing up on the podium.
And Lamerash has not yet got to the line, so something has gone wrong for him on the last lap of the race. So up into fourth place then goes Mike Eap. Up into fifth place will come number 21 of Loman Kit with his Mini. And now sixth, but a very distant sixth, is Luciano Castillo-Lamerash. So problems hit late in the race, as you see there, Wong Kar Hong. So he started 22nd and he finishes third. Not a bad drive.
He's going to be absolutely buzzing when he gets out of the car in Parc Fermé. And there is the stricken number 28 car of Geronimo Badaraco. And still in that stationary position. It's a surprise for some cars. They've seen it many times, but it's still not where you would expect a car to be. So it's a little bit of a surprise, but a super race.
It does show, though, that if drivers respond to flag signals, you can keep a race going with a car there.
Yes, you can.
Yes, like Dickie Chun's car was allowed to sit trackside. If people are responding to a yellow flag and slowing down at that zone, then fine.
The only time that that becomes a little bit more of a problem is when you make a mistake. And all of a sudden you find yourself not on the intended part of the circuit. There could potentially be a contact with the stationary car if you just get it wrong coming out of the corner, a little bit wide coming out the corner, and then you can't avoid the stationary car. But you're right, it was well indicated by the marshals. They are superbly trained here at Macau, as you would expect, in order to run these race meetings, and that is our race winner for the first race of the weekend for this 69th Macau Grand Prix weekend. Race day, we are now back to a 4-day meeting for the Macau Grand Prix, which means that on Thursday we had a day of 2 free practice sessions for all of the cars, and then yesterday was qualifying day, race day today, and Grand Prix day tomorrow. Into pit lane they come. There'll be top 3 will be pulled into Parc Fermé, and we'll see the elation from the drivers and our first presentation of a podium here at Macau. Just see the roads of Macau in the background. Well, we're racing on the roads in Macau, but normal life in the background continues. as ever it does. And overnight, the circuit itself becomes the roads of Macau once again. And they bustle with motorcycles, taxis, buses, and some quite exceptional road cars as well over the course of the Macau Grand Prix. It's a great place to show off a nifty supercar, isn't it? And the nightlife at Macau is all part of the experience of the Macau Grand Prix weekend, and so too is the elation of a race winner as number 18 Chu Hiu Fong gets out of his car. So too does Leon Wong. He's happy with that, and it might not be a race win. They are always happy to be in a podium place. So the top two already here, and we wait for the number 82 car of Wong Kar Hong in the Bobadilla Racing Team Evo 10, which will arrive in a little while in Parc Fermé. But a quite superb race by all three of them. Off comes the helmet. It's hot work. It's 24, 25 degrees at just fast approaching 9 o'clock in the morning here in Macau. Smiles all around. That's lovely to see, isn't it? It means so much to these regional drivers. That, this is the racing highlight of the year by a very, very long way. Leon Wong, second place. Just having a little debrief with our race winner, Chu Hiu Fong.
Probably discussing what went on with Geronimo Balaraco, because it was significant that the time lost in that incident lost Leon Wong the potential win, and gave that victory to ultimately Chu Hiu Fong. And there is perhaps one of the heroes of the race, because Wong Kar Hong taking third place, which I don't think he was expecting, given how far back he started, 22nd.
Well, he'll have stories to tell, and you can imagine that the top two are going to turn around and say, how did you get here? Well, it's a long story. How long have you got? There's Rui Valence, the number 20 car that ended up in 9th position.
And third in class.
And third in class.
So Wong Kar Hong will be absolutely delighted with that. Big wave as he steps from the Bobadilla Racing Mitsubishi Lancer Evo. Crash helmet off, hands device off, intercom unplugged, balaclava off, earpiece is out. And then, take a deep breath. Number 21 there, the 1600 class winner, low man kit with the RPM Racing Team Mini Cooper S, the turbocharged car. One of the few drivers with an open face helmet. Rui Valente there walks around his Mini after a tough battle, but a good drive. Almost surveying the damage there, proof that he's been in a battle or two.
You absolutely cannot equal the joy and delight when you see the drivers get out of the cars. They're hot as well, they're tired. It's physically a very demanding lap around the gear circuit, racing wheel to wheel. There is nothing that can equal the joy to be on the podium. And we will have a podium for the races today. And just the top three to receive their awards on the podium. From Dr. Rui Kunha, the Secretary General of SJM Resorts, and Ms. Angela Leung, Director of SJM Resorts, are our two presenters, and all the officials responsible for getting drivers up to the podium realise very early on in the race weekend that's not the work of a moment, because everyone wants to congratulate, everyone wants to share the moment, everyone wants a selfie, and everyone wants a couple of words with our podium drivers.
So they'll be there in a moment for the podium in a race won by Chu Hiu Fong then, from Leon Wong in second place and Wong Kar Hong in third. Fourth might eat ahead of Luciano Castillo-Lamarache, and then in seventh spot, Hu Ji Lang. So that result slightly distorted because I think one or two cars have not been included in it, like Lo Man Kit, who should have been in 5th place. In fact, we're doing it by class, that's the reason.
Yeah.
So Lo Man Kit takes the class win from Iptat Meng and Rui Valant in 3rd place, rather than showing an overall result. But it was 5th overall for the best of those up to 1650cc engine cars, which was a good effort, certainly, by Lo Man Kit.
And they'll have a podium tomorrow for the 1600 category, the overall category and the 2-litre category as well. Today it's just the top 3 that we'll be seeing on the podium, as already we're getting ourselves ready for our next race. But let's have a look back at the highlights from our first race of the weekend for the SJM Macau Roadsport Challenge. So there were quite a few highlights of our first race of the weekend, and we are about to enjoy our first podium, that iconic shot of the yellow and black, the corporate colours of the Macau Grand Prix. And I think we're pretty much ready to get our podium presentation underway. Top 3 drivers and representatives from SJM Resorts, the title sponsors of the SJM Macau Roadsport Challenge, get the 3 drivers out onto the podium. Just looking back at the highlights, you realise there were a number of highlights during that 8-lap race, but also a number of very, very near misses over the course of 8 laps. So we get the drivers onto the podium, starting with a great race in 3rd place for Wong Kar Hong onto the 3rd step of the podium, about to get Wan Wan Long onto the 2nd step of the podium. He's on the top step last year. 2nd step, a leap up onto the podium, and then to our winner. The driver of car number 18, Chu Hio Fong, will come out onto the podium and take to the top step of the first podium of the weekend here at Macau. And we are still waiting for our winner to come out. There was a paddock announcement which was important to get over the PA, but then the elation and a leap onto the podium. That's quite high as well, that top step of the podium. That's quite a leap. And then the presentation of trophies and garlands on the podium. Great tradition here at Macau. They get these very impressive garlands on the podium. This is Dr. Rui Kunha, the Secretary General of SJM Resorts, presenting to 3rd place to Wong Kar Hong, and the trophy as well. Has a look at the trophy. And now we have the honor to very nicely on the mantelpiece at home. And a great memory as well on the podium at Macau. And this, Ms. Angela Leung, the Director of SJM Resorts, presenting the trophy to Wong Wan Long on the 2nd step of the podium, and then to our winner, number 18, Chu Hio Fong, on the top step of the podium. To the middle for a group photo. And then the photograph with our 2 representatives from SJM Resorts and our top 3 drivers for our first race of the weekend. A great race it was as well, and we managed the whole of the 8-lap race without the necessity to bring out a red flag, which is very good work.
Congratulations
when you've got a
again, and
grid
thank
of
you to our
35
trophy
cars.
presenting guests.
And tomorrow's race is going to be a longer one. It's going to be a jumbled grid with some of those quick drivers that hit problems today having to start at the back and fight their way through, but they've got a bit more time in which to do it. And it also brings, as we have now seen, after that third place, Wang Ka-hong into the mix as far as tomorrow's race is concerned. So well done to the top three, and to
podium for
Chu
the
Hu Fong
Macau
as our
Roadsport
first
Challenge
race winner of the weekend.